Hey everybody, Orpheolus here. Welcome back to some more Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Last time, well, we continued New Game Plus, pulled all the available gacha blades. Hooray! Free from gacha hell. And this time, well, we're going to start things out in Chapter 6. Yeah, last episode I said, yay, 3 chapters, but I cannot math to save my life. Then again, Chapter 4's length is like the length of 2 chapters. It's so long. So, yeah. So anyways, this time, well, there's not really much else to discuss here in Indel. The next main area of note, though, is going to be in Tantal. Because there's some interesting stuff I want to show off there in Tantal. Hello there. Alright then, so the next major thing of note is going to be here at Genbu. So the next major thing I kind of want to note here while we're going through Genbu is that there's some other unused items within this game. That's the first major thing of note I want to talk about. And the first item I want to talk about is the lead ship. Not for sure where the location would be. I'd probably assume Raya maybe. It doesn't sound really that good. Then again, my Terraria knows that lead is like one of the most important elements in the game because it's required for so many things, but yeah, lead's probably an early game thing that went unused in the final product. There's also a new set of Ox cores. Ox cores. That is a null resist. So the enemies, they might have had the ability to annul your defenses. And from these annulling defenses, it might have been just a way to resist that. However, though, the thing went unused in the final product. Therefore, you don't need to worry about defense annulling attacks. Yeah, they had a set of these, up to 5. However, they went unused into the final product. So here at Fable Rock, the next thing I want to note though is that there's also some unused accessories. Probably should have talked about this a little bit further on, but this is Genbu. There's so much dead space here. So the 2 additional accessories are related to the beta scope, and they are the Alpha scope and the Gamma scope. Alpha scope reduces your top resistance. Meanwhile, the Gamma scope reduces the launch resistance. These went unused in the final product because, well, not really too necessary. You're expending your accessory core for something that's reliant on a previous thing, so you really only need the beta scope. Once they're broken, pretty easy to topple, and the others just become redundant. So that also went unused in the final product. Their location data shows that the Alpha scope was meant to be dropped in the areas of Cliffs of Mortha. Meanwhile, the data for the Gamma scope was supposed to be here in Tantal, probably dropped from level 80 monsters. However, though, it's kind of moot and pointless. So, heading up here to the capital. Alright then. So another thing I should mention though, going through the filler section, up further ahead, there's only these enemies. They will Eiger you, no matter how high level you are. They think they can take me. How cute. See, I'm just avoiding them at this point. They're all moot. And useless. And annoying, might I add. Alright then. So the next thing I want to note is very significant. There is one very, very stupid thing this game has programmed. So hold down all trigger buttons, X. Darn it. All trigger buttons down and X. Why isn't it working?
I just had a frightful dream.
That's not supposed to happen.
Let's show him a thing or three.
We can do this together.
Alright then. So this is a rather awkward state that we are in. It took me quite a few times, so as you can see, things aren't normal. So let's go ahead and take a gigantic fall. Within the zombie state, right down here should be perfectly fine. We are still alive. What the heck is going on? This calls for a save quit. And upon reloading, We arrive here at the Great Pillar Passage. This is Tantal Skip. We skip all of that by doing a very weird thing. You're as confused as I am. So, there is a very stupid feature in this game that is never talked about. It's insta-kill yourself. The combination is very stupid. You have to hold down all the trigger buttons, LR, ZR, LR, ZL, ZR, down, and X. I'm having difficulties trying to get it to work. There we go. So I'm holding down all the buttons, and you instantly die. If you keep on holding this through the transition, you remain in a zombie-like state. So as you can see, we're just floating in midair, initiate a battle, and then exit out, and you are going to be in a glitched state. As you can see, we're just floating around, and we all float on alright. So with this, you can take this all the way down, and pretty much go through the game in a glitched state. It's super difficult to pull off, but you can live through any fall whatsoever. The only issue though is that, well, you are in a very glitched state, as you can see. You can only trigger landmarks and locations as long as you are not in this zombie walk. So this is the zombie walk I was talking to you all about. The main thing about this zombie walk glitch though, is that this is not the original zombie walk. The original zombie walk is something completely different. The original zombie walk, you disconnect your controller while falling. If you do it enough times, you will eventually reach the bottom and you will live. This was patched out. However though, this zombie walk wasn't, because for some miraculous reason, nobody ever knew about this combination. It's so obscure and relatively annoying to pull off. But doing this is a 4-minute time save. The only issue though is just trying to pull it off. So yeah, I'm just having difficulties pulling it off. There's some others that can pull this off relatively easily. For me, not so much. So yes, that is the new zombie walk. Again, hold down all the buttons, hold down. I'm kind of tapping the left. It's down on the D-pad. I'm kind of left tapping left. So yeah, I'm manipulating camera because of, well, holding down the buttons does trigger a camera manip. There we go, I think. There we go. So I found what's a little bit easier is just doing it out of a transition. If you release it, you'll go back to your normal things.
You've cost us precious time, you know.
So, no, don't release it and you will be perfectly fine to go into the zombie walk state. Yeah, I'm still holding these, so it is LRZLZR down plus X. Hold on to this and you'll be continuously fine. Another way you can break this though, besides aggroing an enemy, is by fast traveling. But I will take my glitch state, thank you very much. If you do die again though, you won't be able to trigger the state unless you are in that endless falling transition. With this though, you can ignore death planes. Well, actually, you can open up your menu while falling. That is interesting. Hooray! For glitches. So yeah, that is just something I did want to mention though. Something that I did not know until right before recording, because I knew it existed, I just couldn't figure out how to do it. But there you go. So, back to story we go. And by story, I mean skipping ahead to chapter 7, where I lose all hope of this world. Well, this is awkward. Echoes, why are you running in circles? Imagine getting owned by Akos. Who's not your Akos. This fight's confusing. Yeah, I don't blame you, Petroka. I don't even know what's going on either. Get finished by yourself. Alright then. So while I am thinking about it while we're going through this rather miserable location, there is some additional trivia about the Titans here in Allrest. All the major Titans, they are named after the 7 deadly sins. Well, translated to Japanese, they are supposed to be representing the 7 deadly sins. Argentum sounds a lot like silver, and silver is typically a form of greed, so argentum is for greed. More Ardain is pride. Pride with the Empire, you know, all that fun stuff. The next one is Gormott, represents gluttony. Uriah represents envy. Torna represents wrath. I mean, of course, Torna is a very wrathful group. Indol is sloth, which I'd more see being wrathful, but meh. And then lastly, Tantal, which is lust. I could see Tantal being more sloth because they are a group that don't really like doing anything. And then the remaining titans, except for Mortha and World Tree, represent a holy virtue, supposedly. Letheria's supposed to represent liberty or charity.
Oh, this is where we were going.
A little bit up in the air with that one. Temperantia sounds very close to temperance. Judicium for justice, and Elpi stands for hope. Ha ha ha! Yeah, hope. The worst level in the game. I guess it's hope for getting on out of here. Multus, Rogue, Averbero, Multus, Averbero, Multus. Rogue, Multus, Averbero, Multus.
New enemy in the mix.
Averbero, Multus, Rogue, Multus. I'm just shy of a one shot. This really sucks. Did I ever tell you guys this area sucks?
Me first. Dan, you're
So yeah, so one thing I kind of failed to mention though is that area of effect is your way to go. However, I don't think I have any other area effects. Zenobia maybe?
Mine. All mine.
Nope.
Enemy down.
Multus, Rogue, Fluxus, Rogue, Multus, Averbero, Multus, Rogue. Alright then. So, starting up here on the Cliffs of Mortha, there's one new NPC here that's not here before, and that is a traveling bard. This was added later on in a later update. So from here, for 500,000, you get a Master Ether mod. This essentially makes Tiger useless, as you can gain the Master Ether mods, or just the Master mods in general, which is super useful because they're normally a 1% drop rate in Tiger stage level 5. So this is essentially useful. This will help you out immensely for pretty much making Cutie Pie broken. You can gain your Ether Crystals and Master things. Though Ether Crystals, I would argue, is more important because with those Ether Crystals, you can be able to farm pretty much easily. So that's essentially it. Whoever programmed that wall really wasn't on their A game that day.
That would.
Also, I totally did not fall off this wall. Oh no, totally different because climbing this game was very well programmed. And climbing up there, yeah, as you can see, this wall was not given too much love and care. Then again, Cliffs of Mortha just sucks in general. I mean, it's good on a story perspective, it's terrible on a gameplay perspective.
Look
You
what
know,
we found.
it's very peaceful coming up here. Just walking into this room, absolutely no one in the way.
You're all
It's
mine.
very peaceful. I can go in here, grab my bio gauntlet and terrible rewards, and yeah. I mean, I totally could see a very high level Katani using driver just meditating here in peace. I mean, snug inside a cliff. Totally not super dangerous whatsoever, containing one of the game's hardest bosses. Yeah, totally. So, anyways, next thing to note here, get out of the way, Enlude, is falling down here. Yes, this is part of the story, however, though, there is something interesting in that another traveling bard is located here. This, once again, is one of the traveling bards that was added to the game. Alright then. So this traveling bard will give you a Master Luck mod for 500,000. Pretty nice. I mean, Master Luck increases your crit rate. All around, not the greatest. Just opening that up so that way I have the salvage point, or if I want to fight Orpheolus for some stupid reason. So yeah, there's Tombstone. Alright then, so starting here in Chapter 8. Man, it feels so good to be back in the standard armor. So one thing I want to note though, here at the start of Chapter 8. According to the game director, if I remember correctly, Torn of the Golden Country was originally going to be part of the main game. However though, due to time constraints and the overall size of Torn of the Golden Country, it was sectored off into DLC, in which it became pretty much its own game. The intended order for the game to be played is play the game up to Chapter 7, go through Torn of the Golden Country, and then start back here. As well, the stuff revealed by Jin kind of goes off the ending of Torn of the Golden Country. That story stuff is its own let's play at this point. So yeah, really hard to implement that. It's like, hey yeah, here's a 40 episode break, 2 episodes of story, then another 20 episodes of side quests. That really wouldn't have gone too well. So yeah. And plus, the stuff in Golden Country, it's really hard to get back to the main game after all that good stuff that they implemented. Alright then, so the next interesting thing I want to note though, Jin has temporarily joined my party. This is kind of hilarious, as fast travel is not disabled, meaning you can take Jin to all over Allrest. And in no way does this become awkward that someone who laid waste to Moradin's Titan ships, raided all that stuff, can go parading around here. And, even more ironic, you can take him to the Emperor. They don't say anything else, he can't switch Jin to the lead. But I think it's really awkward, the fact that Jin comes with you everywhere. Hey, hello Emperor. I have Jin with me. Do you have anything to say? Yeah, please help you out in the journey. Yeah, I'm here to turn in Jin. And this gets even more awkward, as Indol is still available at this point. However though, it appears that Amalthus really is not around at this point. Yeah, Amalthus is AFK. So this would have avoided a very awkward confrontation, bringing Jin to Amalthus. That would have been super awkward. Then again, all of Chapter 9 could have been avoided. Then again, I'm not really too upset. Chapter 9 is amazing. So yeah, probably could have done some stuff here in Indol, since Indol's about to be shut off really soon, but meh. Alright then, the next thing I want to note though, is that sometime either after you complete Spirit Crucible Elpis or Chapter 8, travel here to the entrance of the area, and here is the Traveling Bard. Here, for 1,000,000 bonus experience, you can get a Light Elemental Core. Again, one of the super rare things. Also, Jin, probably not a good place to take you after your weakened state. Alright then, so starting up here in Infernal Goldo, one thing I didn't quite mention though, is that there is some unused stuff for Jin. And that there's some attacks that Jin does have, such as Stun Swallow and such. It's available within his moveset, however though, you cannot change his arts around, therefore, you cannot possibly use to change it. Which does kind of suck, but yeah. Anyways, Infernal Goldo is such a slow boss. Alright, we're almost done with Phase 1. Alright then. So going on into Phase 2, I will be going over more Jin stuff. However though, the downside of going over Jin stuff is that if I were to go over it, well, there is a lot better of a time to go over it. Alright then. So here at the World Tree base, we can talk here to this Traveler Bard. So this guy gives you the Master Strike mod for 500,000, which... oh, I will. In fact, that's one of the things I really need. So, Zeke, get up in front. Alright then. Yes, I'll take my Master Strike mod. Super useful for Cutie Pie. I'd argue is essentially, well, essential for Cutie Pie. So yeah, Master Strike mod, or alternatively Strike mod 5, those are really good for Cutie Pie. Way better than a Muscle mod, in my honest onion. So that's not all there is here, though. The next destination will also be here in the Land of Mortha. I'll see you guys at the View of the Lost Time up there. It's a long road. So I guess while we're here, one thing that is very interesting, though, is that Interstate 236. There is a theory about the location of the World Tree, and that would be Houston, Texas. Just given proximity of Earth, water, and then skyscrapers and such, and given interstate, it's led to believe that this Xenoblade 2 takes place on the World Tree. Just something of interest. Well, Houston, Texas. Alright, here at View of the Lost Time we have another bard here. Alright then. So for here you get yourself a Master Muscle mod. No thank you. Alright then. So honestly, Master Strike is way better than the Master Muscle. So, our next destination, it will be within the World Tree itself.
Let's go. Let me get my breath.
There's not really too much here for other trivia, at least starting up the World Tree. I don't think Chapter 9... well, Chapter 9 does have some interesting stuff in it. So we're going to head on up. Alright then, so ascending the World Tree. There is some stuff I want to talk about, and that is Numa. Or Pyra and, Mithra's ascended form. So the official name of the blades themselves do vary. Inside some guides they refer to as Pyra Awakened. The in-game file for her name in Japanese is Homuri, which is a combination of Homura, which is Pyra's Japanese name, and Ikari, which is Mithra's Japanese name. So it just combine them together, and that's the form. It wasn't until the official art book that was released for Xenoblade 2, in which referred to the ascended form as Numa, which is my preferred name. It makes sense. So, going over the actual skill notes of Numa, since I didn't really talk about it, her specials is level 1 Starburst, level 2 Radiant Flare, level 3 Genesis Saber, and level 4 Infinity Blade. Infinity Blade is only available in New Game Plus. Anyways, continuing up here along the World Tree, you can get yourself a Master Tank mod. Really useful for Poppy Alpha. So as you can see, it's kind of pointless to do Tiger in New Game Plus. So Infinity Saber, hopefully I'll be able to show it off against the Malthus. It's arguably it's a really good attack and it annuls enemy defense, and we'll see how flashy it is. Skills though is where things get interesting. The first skill is Dream of the Future. Initiates an elemental combo at will. That's a plus and minus thing that you can do. Next up is the Chosen One. It enhances driver abilities. To be exact, it ignores damage resistance by orbs. Hits enemy weakness every single time since, well, Numa is every single element. Counter spike damage of weakness, so whenever you take damage, it reflects some of it back for the opponent's weakness. Blocks damage reflected. The aggro is going to be set to 100%, so Rex will always have aggro in Numa's form. You'll be able to save driver from death once. While I'm here, might as well get this that way I can have Poppy Buster at S rank now. Hooray! Legendary land! Legendary skip. Alright then. Did it? I don't think that actually counts though. Meh. I was hoping it would. I can think of a few others. It's not the end of the world. So yeah. and then targets all orbs during a chain attack. That's the forms that the driver can do. Alternatively, the last skill is the Aegis. It has a full party effect, reduces enemy block resistance by 50%, increases your character's agility and evasion by 50%, and item drop rate is doubled. Relatively really nice. The only issue though is that it's relatively limited in nature. And yeah. Next up, there is a full skill tree. However though, you cannot develop it at all whatsoever. It's always stuck at E rank. Auto attack is set to about I'd say about 1250 or so, along those lines. However though, because the blades are at E rank, you'll get a reduction, or I guess a penalty because they don't trust you enough. That kind of sucks, but meh. So that's really it here. There's nothing really else here in Chapter 8 that I want to talk about. I was able to just muscle memory my way through this. Alright then, so I'll see you guys in Chapter 9 when things get interesting. Also, yes, Indol becomes remissable. Oh, one more thing I forgot to mention. I was so consumed in trying to do the zombie walk glitch back in Tantal, there was actually an enemy I forgot to mention. It is a level 40 arachno that exists in the data. Gotta scroll up to my notes. A level 40 arachno, the Slump Arachno. Never went used in the final game, but it is just a regular enemy. A lot of the other areas, they have unused side quests, but this one's the most interesting in that it's not associated with side quests. Well, all the enemies are associated with the side quests that went unused, but this one's just a regular enemy. Now I'll see you guys in Chapter 9. Well, I guess here in Chapter 9, one thing that I can't believe I never paid attention to is how cool this is. Then again, just watching the Monsters beat the crap out of Indol. I will say all the explosions is rather unnecessary. This whole running of the port is just downright amazing. Why the hell did I never make note of it? Then again, I was too focused on unique monsters. Man, Michael Bay would be jealous. Alright then, so a couple things I really want to note though before I head on out. I just want to get into the next landmark before things change, but
Here, let me.
that whole thing with the sky running and Monsters falling, things change because of that. We're going to run through these long series of doorways simply to get to the next area. Namely, inside this room, we have ourselves the last traveling bard here. Hello, Mr. Nopon. So you're going to sell us the last thing, the Master Evasion mod, primarily for QT. Personally though, I really don't care for those for QT or Alpha. QT Pie is where it's at. So inside the last room, level 3 Alioth. I want to make a note here, because ever since Torna fell, there's one significant change, and that is here at Megafloat Base. This is an alternate universe. This is the alternate universe in which Mikhail did not die. As you can see, Mikhail is here at the bottom. He survived the explosion. So, bringing along Morag, because if we talk to him... Hey, how's it going? Meh. Did you think I was dead? Even I thought I was dead. Even the cannon thought I was dead. But Troika told me not to die. She said she wanted to be the one to kill me. I couldn't just let myself die after an order like that. Honestly, I'd be scared of the consequences. Well, you'll have to let me come along to take a look at the answer that you found. Can I? Yeah! Alright, Mikhail will be engaged in by whichever character talks to him. However, Tori cannot engage him. If Mikhail is released, he will reappear in this place. So if you want to switch Mikhail around, you do not need... an overdrive protocol. So with this, Mikhail is the last blade outside of challenge mode. So Mikhail as a blade is pretty alright. He takes your usual 9,000. So his skills is Gravity Pinwheel. At 30% chance of blowdown on enemies being attacked. Alright. Dimension Fold increases aggro every second. Really good for tanking. And then increases evasion rate by 45% when affinity is at max. Very good for a dodge tank. Mikhail goes on Morag. So that is that. Go ahead and readjusting my characters real quick. So, I'll see you guys at Amalthus. That's pretty much it for Chapter 9. Then again, it's also like a super short chapter. Alright, Jen. We shall do battle against another gravestone of a super high level monster.
Do it.
Please leave it to Dora.
Get toppled, Gitsa. Alright then. So starting up here, in New Game Plus, you can go on ahead, inflict, I'm just waiting for a, can we get a break please? Alright, Cutie Pie, there we go. Get toppled in level 4.
Blades cannot exist without people. They are mere tools.
Do you read me?
Magnificent. Launch burnout.
Also, one thing I never quite mentioned though, Sacred Arrow. I really downplayed that. Apparently that can be an insta-kill to your entire party. I was just lucky during the battle.
Magnificent. Enemy.
Get dunked on him, Amalthus. And with that, that concludes Chapter 9. Well, caught things up. Did 4 chapters this time, but with this, my hard drive was yelling at me again saying, hey, you've been recording for 2 hours. So with this, we did pretty good progress this episode. Went through 4 more chapters, and we are almost done with our New Game Plus Brigade. Next time in Xenoblade Chronicles 2, we finish up New Game Plus and break into the heart-to-hearts and other fun things. I will see you guys then.